board member in being in plays with my son about 13, 14 years ago. He was at O'Malley. It was really awesome, and I'm proud to be a board member. And my job tonight is to speak a little bit before the show begins. As president of the Gloucester City Council, I'd like to speak just a little bit on the 400 and how important this event is to all of us in Gloucester. This theme is perfect, and I had the pleasure Monday of watching the dress rehearsal with all the seniors in Gloucester and Rockport. It was really cool. And it's heartfelt. I want to ask a question. Any of you fishermen in this room? Okay, I see a couple people there. Well, thank you, because this is a heartfelt story about our fishing industry. On August 1st, we had this wonderful, wonderful ceremony as part of the 400 in front of the fisherman's statue, and all the people had gone down in their ships fishing. And at that ceremony, it was the most heartfelt ceremony I've ever been to. It was so appropriate for the 400 because we had all the Gloucester fishermen sitting in the front row, probably about 15. They were all about 75 to 80. And Angela Sampico, who chairs Fisheries Commission, and Al Patone, who is the executive director of that same commission, went up to each one of them and individually gave them a commemorative medal on behalf of the 400. And it was so touching. And for this entire month, we in Gloucester are celebrating the fishing industry. So I urge you all to go this weekend. There's going to be some really great festivities down at Jedry's State Pier from 10 o'clock to 5 on both Saturday and Sunday. Everything is free. There's going to be tons of exhibits and demonstrations of rope tying and fishermen's chants and songs. And I think you just will really love it. There's going to be vendors and food, so we really encourage you to go to that. And the other thing that I just wanted to say is stay involved. If you want to know what's going on for the rest of this year, go on gloucestermass400.org and you can get all the schedules if you can like it and then get them sent to you. It's a wonderful year. We are all proud of our community here in Gloucester. And tonight, this is a special occasion because we're celebrating the fishing industry with the AVP on our proud city's 400th anniversary. So, at this point, enjoy the night, and Terry Sands, our wonderful director, will be out in just a second to address all of you. So enjoy the show.
Good evening. Welcome to the Annisquam Village Players 2023 production of Gloucester Story. I want to tell you a little bit about Gloucester Story. It's a little bit different from a regular show. We usually do a Broadway show. This show was written in the early 1950s by a guy whose family was involved with the fishing industry. And it got the Russell Krauss Award for Best Community Play of 50 or 51. And so we're very proud to present this show to you tonight. We got involved about 2 years ago when the 400th committee asked us to put this show on. And it's a story of the fishing industry in Gloucester. Now, we have something really unique about the show tonight. The show was written as a straight play, no music, and we have converted it into a musical. And the music comes from a number of different sources. It comes from some sea shanties that are very popular in Gloucester, run by a group run by Peter Sousa called Three Sheets to the Wind, I think. And we also took a song from Captain Courageous, the song that Spencer Tracy sang in that show. We have incorporated here. We've incorporated another music from Daisy Nell, who wrote a song called Heartbeat from the Sea. And we have that in here. And we also have 3 or 4 songs that were written by somebody you're going to hear right away, who worked on the adventure one summer a couple of years ago, and he wrote 3 or 4 songs, and they were like written for the show. And his name is Corey Wren. He is going to sing one of the songs called Docks of Old Gloucester, which is going to open the show. And then you'll hear 3 or 4 of his other songs during the course of the show. And one final thing about the music, our music director, Marcia Groom, who has been with us forever, she's fabulous. She also teaches music, and she has a student, she says one of the best students she's ever had, who has written some songs for various sources, including some symphony orchestras. And she sent him a copy of the script, and he wrote a song for our show tonight. It's a brand new song that is based on the story that we're about to show you. And so we're very excited about the fact that we're presenting a musical to you tonight. And it's the first time ever that Gloucester Story has been presented as a musical. So enjoy the show. And Corey, you want to come on up? Corey? And so he knows what it's all about being on a schooner. And when you hear the songs tonight, you'll see. But we're opening the show with Corey singing the song called Docks of Old Gloucester.
When I go out on the docks of old Gloucester, fresh catch and ice and the seagulls roam free, I know that's where the sea breeze will call me, and somewhere out there my ship will be. Haddock and cod, so dried and hot, from the great banks of fishers are we. Sometimes at night the rigging be calling, lost stories home for peaceful sleep. And I've seen wind and waves, and I've the pouring rain, and somewhere out there my ship will be. A big reed sail and the fog bank come rolling, better yet with 4 hours sleep. Fish your falls with Atlantic rollers, or you'll find yourself way down in deep. And I've seen wind and waves, and I've known pouring rain, and somewhere out there my ship will be.
Ladies and gentlemen, during the formative period of this country's rise to its present high place, the large maritime cities of Massachusetts devoted their energies to the rich clipper ship trade and the equally rewarding occupation of whaling. Gloucester chose fishing as its major contribution. As the industry grew, there were three outstanding developments, which became world famous. One of these was the schooner. The need for speed, maneuverability, and seaworthiness made it mandatory to improve upon the slow, clumsy pinnaces and shallops used in the early years of fishing. From the time the first schooner slid down the ways of the shipyard at Eastern Point in 1713, its place was assured among fast-sailing vessels. The highest accolade that could be conferred on a schooner was to be called fast and able. Probably the acme of speed was reached in the last years of its evolution. In 1922, the schooner Puritan was built in Essex, and during its short life was often logged at 15 knots and averaged more than 14 for long passages. Another of these developments is the dory. Upon the time of its invention of the trawl, bank fishing had been done by hauling from the vessel's deck, but with its advent, it became necessary for the crew to leave the vessel in small rowboats to set and underrun this new device. In 1793, Simon Lowell of Amesbury had designed and built what he called a dory. It was waiting to be tried out when the need for it arose. It proved to be the most seaworthy small boat ever devised by man. Although only 16 feet overall, with a 14-foot flat bottom, it could hold close to 2 tons of fish in addition to its 2 main crew without swamping. And it could be nested on the vessel's deck so that several took no more space than one. It answered all of the requirements of the Gloucester trawlers, and after they made its value known, it was adopted to all the world's deep-sea fishing fleets. The last and most important of this trio is the people who made others possible.
Youth were attracted to Gloucester by the magnetism of the sea from foreign countries, especially Canada, and from various parts of the United States to augment the native manpower. They became a breed apart. The navigational feats of the captains, by dead reckoning, were recognized throughout the 7 seas. The fortitude, stamina, and determination of the fishermen will never be excelled. Some of their deeds are legendary. Without modern equipment, such as sonar, radar, and radio, the blinding fogs, the sudden squalls, and the unpredicted gales of the North Atlantic made bank fishing a most hazardous calling. During one 5-year period, 100 men were lost from dories alone. These men were extremely superstitious. Misfortune followed the breaking of taboos so often that the superstitions were implicitly believed and taken for granted. The validity of a dream as an omen of disaster was one of their strongest convictions. Gloucester's story takes you back, in fancy, to the turn of the century, when the fishing industry was at the height of its industry. Back when men, not machines, were the principal means of catching fish. The storyline, which involves a firm of vessel owners, fishermen, and a boy-girl romance, is entirely fictional. But the plot motivations, dealing with the folklore, are all factual. Its object is to show a picture of this era, forever gone, that typifies the heritage of the sea, which is so unique in Gloucester's. How some of these people lived, and how some of them died. We have 3 courses to help us tell the story. The first is the fisherman's course. The brave men who put their lives on the front line every day as they go off to sea. The second is the fisherman's wives' course. These women watch their husbands and sons go off to sea, patiently waiting for their return. And finally, the third is the children's course. The representatives of the young families who watch their fathers go off to sea, not knowing if they will return. Pay close attention to the play. Several of the characters have been devastated by lives lost at sea.
Where are you off to now, Seth? Out on the Grand Banks again with all your dories out?
I can still dream, can't I? And I'm reconciled to it, but I can't help picturing myself at the wheel of my staunch vessel, pitting my puny strength against the elements, driving to market in a 40-knot breeze with the lee rail underwater, chalk up to the cabin hatch. And I can picture myself as skipper, too.
Well, for a frustrated skipper, you do make a good office manager. Whether or not you would have made a good skipper, something you'll never know now.
No, John, I'll never know if I was able enough to stand up to that kind of a life.
It's practical experience. It's the only way a man can find out if he has the instinct of a homing pigeon, the finesse of a diplomat, and the personality to command a crew of rugged individuals without the authority of discipline.
Yeah, but if I had my life to live over again, I'd get that experience, and I wouldn't let anything stop me. How did you want to fill that Trinidad salt cod order?
Oh, last time he mixed it with 2 of the large and 1 of the smalls, and it was perfectly satisfactory, so let's do the same with this.
Better let them get started on it right away, hadn't I? They're almost caught up with what they had.
I would, and have them do the Baltimore one next.
Yeah, that should be taken care of, too.
Good morning, Mr. Bates.
Morning, Debbie.
Good morning, Mr. Munson.
Good morning, Deborah. This is a beautiful spring morning, isn't it?
It's lovely, Mr. Munson.
I'll have a letter for you in a little while. I'll let you know when I'm ready.
Yes, sir.
And Seth, have my son Charlie Fred get the cook whatever he needs aboard the Artemisia right away.
I didn't mind, John.
Mr. Bates, I talked to those same 2 Robins I was telling you about again this morning.
Well, that's so. Afraid I don't know many Robins, Debbie.
You should really get acquainted. It's loads of fun to talk to them.
Now, what would people say if they saw me talking to a Robin? Some of them have their doubts about me now.
You don't really mean that, Mr. Bates.
Well, sometimes I wonder. Did you finish that letter to the Grayson Company?
Yesterday afternoon, and Mr. Munson approved it.
Fine. Be sure it gets in the rack before the mailman comes.
I'll attend to it.
Morning, Seth.
Morning, Nate.
Morning, Debbie. How's the prettiest girl in town this morning?
Good morning, Captain Nate. I'm sure I wouldn't know anything about the health of the prettiest girl in town.
Oh, who would know if you wouldn't, eh? I think you are fishing for compliments. Look at you, you're blushing.
I don't believe it. After being around here with you soft-soaping skippers a while, a girl gets over blushing pretty fast.
Knock it off, your nonsense. Look at you, your face is as red as a beet.
You?
Nate, why don't you leave the girls alone? You know they're all crazy about you. And all you love in the world is that boat of yours.
Well, Seth, a pretty woman is just as good to look at as a pretty vessel. And I like to look in a boat same. But I must tell you, there is nothing prettier than the Artemisia. At a full sail and a spanking breeze, I tell you, she is something to look at.
You may have a point there, Nate. A pretty girl will outgrow being pretty sometimes, but a good boat never does. As long as it's above water.
You two should both be ashamed of yourselves. Comparing a woman to a smelly fishing vessel.
You may have a point there too, Deb. Yes, I have to admit that a girl smells better than a boat.
Maybe, but if we could invent a way to change billet water into perfumery, she would never lay the sand on.
You'll never be able to do that as long as you can carry fish in them.
I hereby declare this debate a draw.
Well, it was fun while it lasted. Hey, Seth, how about we get that? We brought down to cookies so we can start his bacon. I gotta keep him happy. He's the best cook in the whole fleet.
Getting provisions aboard Artemisia was the first thing I was going to have Charlie Fred do when he comes. I don't know what's keeping him. He's always here before this.
What's the matter with that thigh of yours, Debbie? Did you have him out late last night, according?
No, he was not over my house last night. It was not his night to call.
Oh, probably out with this other girl then, huh?
Very likely.
I heard those last remarks and I demand an apology. I'll have you know I spent all of last night sitting in charge for Jake North, the Western Bank, and the Clearing.
Oh, and I bet you think you could sail right through the middle of every one of them blindfolded.
Well, maybe not blindfolded. I'd have to take a look at the compass every once in a while.
You don't even know your north from yourself. Let me hear you box the compass.
All right. North by northeast, northeast instead. East by northeast, northeast.
That's enough. That's enough. You know you can box it, but you do it like a schoolboy.
Want me to do it backwards?
No! You'll do nothing against the sun. That's bad luck.
And I can shoot the sun too. Old Captain Stanley, who used to go square rigging, showed me how. But don't think I'm bragging or anything. I want to learn dead reckoning. Pete Peetson told me when he came back with a trip with you that he didn't see the sun or stars for 3 days or 3 nights. He came up right up on deck to hear you saying, "On starboard!" with a bowsprit pointing right over at Eastern Point Light. Now that's the kind of navigating I want to learn.
And it's good to know both.
I hate to interrupt this nautical discourse, Charlie Fred, but both Dave and your father are after me to get grub aboard Artemisia.
Ah, way ahead of you on that one. I was down before the gulls earlier this morning, and even Waldo was up early enough to lend a hand. Cody's got his bread all set to rise with 2 sheets of gingerbread in the oven.
Smart boy.
You don't have to be smart to do that. You just have to get up early enough to do what you have to. And besides, I get a lot of my tip from fishing from Cookie.
You don't be a little careful, you'll be the best fisherman in Gloucester that's never been to the sea. Now, what was I gonna do? I had something on my mind. Oh yeah, John wanted me to start that Trinidad order. Hey, why don't you talk to Charlie Fred about the stores?
Sure will. All right, Navigator, let's get on the course.
You may come in now, Deborah.
Yes, sir.
Morning, Nate.
Morning, John.
Stop in before you leave. I won't be long, just a short letter. I've got a little matter for you to straighten out.
We'll do it.
All right, so everything that you see here with the cross upon it has been brought and stored below. And man, is that shack locker full.
Let's take a look. Gonna need more tea. 1 to 5 more pounds. I can't be running out of tea out. If we hit bad weather, all my guys are tea drinkers.
Fair enough. All right, 5 more pounds of tea it is.
Well, you know, if we always run out, we can eat fish. The boys don't like to eat too much of it, but it's better than going hungry. What about that foghorn? Is it fixed yet?
No, but Luther's promised me they would have it all set before you set sail.
Well, you make sure it's here on time.
Will do. And say, when are you going to give me a sight? I've got to get going to sea pretty soon. I've got my suitcase all packed away. A nice black one.
You'll never bring a suitcase on my vessel, especially a black one.
Relax, relax. I was only getting you on a line. I know what brings bad luck aboard a boat.
You're getting too big for your boots. You think what's hard luck in a boat? Let me hear what you know.
All right. An umbrella,
Yeah.
colored mittens, and a woman's bad luck aboard a boat too.
Yeah.
Opening the crosshatch upside down,
Yeah.
coiling the rope against the sun, and never sail on a Friday.
Well, not bad for a land-loving sailor. I didn't think you'd know enough to spit. But you missed some of the worst ones. You take whistling. A whistler on board will always bring high gales. Paul Jacobs had a whistler on board in '98, and it brought the Portland glow.
That was the storm where some of our vessels broke adrift right over onto Rocky Neck Bar.
The jinx is the worst. If I had a jinx on my boat, I'd throw right off the ship.
You wouldn't do that. You know you wouldn't. You set him ashore.
I don't know, I'm a pretty tough man on a boat.
Oh, you just think you are. Now take Paul Jacobs. He's a hard man, and he drives everybody, including himself. Takes a lot of chances that way. Now you're a driver, but you don't take any other chances with either you or your crew. Captain Billy's the same way too. Yes. With him, he only brings men who bring out the best within themselves. If he has someone who doesn't, he'll set them ashore and find someone else who does. He gets a lot of his men that way. Yes, I know all about you highliner skippers.
Well, you know too much. Oh, another thing, don't ever mention a pig on a boat. Some sort of mayhem is bound to happen.
Well, surely there must be something that brings good luck aboard a boat.
Well, music is lucky. Accordion's good. Fiddle's the best. You have a fiddle on board, you're going to catch a lot of fish. The broom will be on the cross sticks when you come around Eastern Point, letting everyone know you're full to the scuppers.
Well, I'm glad something brings good luck aboard a vessel.
Oh, pea soup's good as well. Pea soup will bring a breeze and a flat calm. The cook will always make it whenever we need wind. It won't bring a gale, just a good stiff breeze.
Surely you don't believe all of that stuff, do you, Captain?
It's not what you believe or don't believe, Charlie Fred. It's making sure you're the one that does nothing to bring shoal water under your lee rail in a high gale.
Well, better to be safe than sorry, I suppose. And I meant it when I said that I was all ready to go to sea. I got my oilskins, I got my shawl, and I got my boots all ready to go.
Oh, I guess you mean business.
Well, I'd rather sail with you than anybody else. If not, I'll go to anybody who will give me a sight. Even if I have to go up to the Pottergers up in Boston to do it. I'm going to sea one way or another.
Of course, he's not really going to sea. He's only fooling.
Ah, your best girl says you're not going. And I bet your mother and father have something to say about it.
I've got my mother and father pretty well talked into it.
Can you come in now, Nate?
Sure thing.
There seems to be a discrepancy in the new bill for the trawls. I just want to get it worked out while you're still here.
Sure thing, John. Let's take one more look at that list. And don't forget the tea. Everything else looks pretty shipshape. But if I were you, I'd get to work hard on Debbie, or you're going to be a land-loving sailor your entire life.
Gosh, Debbie, you shouldn't have said that in front of Nate. Now that you don't want me to go fishing.
What else would I want him to think?
What's the matter with you all of a sudden? You never had a problem with me wanting to go before.
I thought you'd get over the idea, and besides, I didn't think your father would let you go anyway. I still don't think he will when it comes right down to it.
Well, let me. I'm old enough to live my own life and be my own boss. Now, I've never wanted to do anything against my parents' wishes, and I've done what they wanted me to up until this point. But ever since I was old enough to be my own boss, I've always wanted to go to sea. I'm gonna be 21 my next birthday, and I've been a sissy long enough. I don't want to live the life my father lives. I'd go balmy.
Your father is one of Gloucester's leading citizens, and there is no reason why you shouldn't be the same someday.
Now, Debbie, my father is everything you say he is. But do you know what he does aside from coming here to the office? He goes to church on Sunday, he plays cricket with my mother every few nights a week, and he reads poetry at night. Now, what kind of life is that for a fellow like me?
It's a good life, and it's a safe one. Why don't you take up some hobbies, say painting, the way those summer border artists do?
But that's as exciting as a spelling bee. I want action, and I'll get it going to sea.
Don't forget, my father was lost at sea, and I know what my mother went through every trip he made. He was a wonderful man, and when he was lost, it was awful thinking about him, just out there, all alone. He didn't even have a decent burial.
Well, of course it's not going to happen to me.
And why not? You're only flesh and blood like everyone else.
I can feel it in my bones. And besides, drowning's not a bad way to go anyway. Butch Black told us about it when we rolled him over the barrel to get the water out of him. Told us it wasn't that bad at all.
Do you think it's all right to be dead as long as it's done an easy way?
Well, you've got to be living your life like it's going to be your last. You might fall down the stairs and break your neck, or you might even get struck by lightning.
But the time seems to come for Gloucester fishermen faster than it does for any other man in any other occupation. But in one gale, we lost 125 men out of this little port.
Well, with Captain Need, it's different. He's never lost a man, and he's been through some pretty bad storms, even the Portland gale.
And that is all the more reason he will lose some. You know very well that no skipper can sail out of Gloucester for any length of time without losing men.
Ah, there's no point in trying to argue. But there is one thing I can do. Mwah.
Charlie Fred Munson, I've never heard of such a thing. Kissing a girl in an office, what if someone had seen you?
Well, what of it? Everybody already knows we're going to be married someday.
It's improper.
Don't worry. I don't think anybody saw.
What's all the commotion?
Don't you dare tell him.
She's got her dander up because I want to go to sea.
Well, I'll tell you, Debbie, you better let him go. Otherwise, you might grow up to be an old fuddy-duddy like me. That wouldn't be so good now, would it?
You see? That's what happens to a man who stays ashore.
I was crazy about going to sea when I was a young lad, but I wasn't allowed to go. Always wished I'd gone regardless and find out if I was fitted for it or not.
And that's the way I feel about it, Seth. Now, Debbie, how does a fellow learn if he's got what it takes if he doesn't give it a try?
The mailman is almost due, Mr. Bates. I better get this in the wrap while you're here.
All right, Debbie, go ahead.
Now, Debbie, why don't you listen to reason?
Hello, is that Charlie Fred?
Hey, Frenchie.
Ooh, awful hurry. Hello, Mr. Bates.
Hello, Frenchie. You owe this company $2 now.
I would actually very much like to owe this company $5 more.
$5? You must think this company is made of money. What would you do with $5?
My hungry children.
Not even married.
I did not say I was married.
No, that's right, you didn't. Well, I give you that song and dance, but I know all along what you want it for. You think that, would I take chances with this company's money so that you can buy liquor?
And we will always have a successful set. Captain Nate is highlines amongst all the fleet. Dory Plug and Frenchie, highlines amongst all the dories.
Well, I'll say you should be washed overboard. You can't even swim.
Swim? What good would swim do? Eastern bank to western shore. 500 miles. I couldn't even swim.
Well, I guess that's right. Not without a compass. Tell you what I'll do. Seeing as how you and your dory mate are always up there with the highliners, I'm going to give you $2. But it's for business. Don't you know the Gloucester fisherman is the worst insurance risk there is?
Thank you, Mr. Bates.
But don't tell anybody else. I don't want every Tom, Dick, and Harry running in here trying to get the money ahead.
Oh, I don't tell somebody. Next time I buy you a drink.
Oh, I don't drink much.
Oh, you should. Makes you forget all your problems on shore.
You're probably right.
Next time I ask for 10, you give me 5?
No.
I bet you do it. It's fun to be a drunken sailor.
eagle eye on her?
What are you, jealous?
Jealous of an old boat. Well, maybe I am.
You are pretty well wrapped up in that boat, aren't you, Nate?
Well, I haven't had much to interest me since Hattie died. Don't know what I'd do if I lost the Artemisia. I guess I'd be in some pretty shoal water for a spell.
Well, when a man loses his wife, it's good to have something to turn to. But do you think it's healthy being so attached to a vessel?
I like it, John.
Did you ever consider marrying again?
No. No woman could replace Hattie. If I did marry again, it would just be to get a housekeeper that couldn't jump ship so easy.
Well, that wouldn't exactly be fair to the woman.
It would be the same if I lost the Artemisia. I'd never look at another vessel the same way again. She's done everything I've ever asked her to do, fair weather or foul. I tell you, she's fast and she's able. And look at the record she's won for me. Highland skipper 3 years running, I tell you, she is the best thing that ever came down the waves at the Essex Yard.
Well, there are some who believe it's the skipper who makes the boat.
Don't you believe it? A vessel's like a woman. Someone cranky and finicky and stubborn, and you have to coax them and coddle them and drive them. And someone like the Artemisia with a great disposition. Hey, how about you sell me your third interest in her?
Well, my third interest has been a very profitable investment.
Yeah, I should have figured out that you'd hold out for the biggest price you skinflint.
I'm a businessman. Evidently, there isn't as much sentiment in business as there is in fishing. But I get as much fun from a business deal as you do when you go out on a fishing trip and make a big killing.
But I tell you what, why don't you figure out how much you can squeeze out of me, and we'll talk about it when I get back from this trip.
All right, whatever you say. Oh, if you have another minute, Something else I'd like to talk to you about.
Sure, I got time, John.
It's about Charlie Fred. He wants to go fishing.
I should know. He's been looking for a site since he could walk.
I don't want him to follow the sea. I've educated him his whole life to take over the business when I retire.
His mother feels the same way?
That's the peculiar part of it. She thinks he should just go do whatever he wants. She's always spoiled him.
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't be so bad if it was anything but fishing.
Wouldn't think you'd have anything against fishing?
Well, I don't have anything against fishing as such. But to have my own son, you should understand my position.
I understand, all right. You think it's not good enough for him? You think a fisherman is someone you can cheat on and look down on?
I hope you're not insinuating.
I'm telling you! I don't have to beat around no bush with you. You saltfish nabobs. You sit on your asses in your office, in your big houses, in your God mighty airs. You wouldn't have half what you got if you made it honest.
I don't cheat anybody, Nate.
No, not you. No. What about that foreman of yours? Huh? If he didn't add extra weight to the scales any time anyone turned their back on him when he's weighing fish, you'd fire him when you find someone that would. Where do they get that liquor that he gives to all those dumb skippers? Gets them so drunk they can't even keep their tallies.
Quiet! I told you, there isn't much sentiment in business.
Business. If Charlie Fred goes fishing, he'll have something else to think about besides that kind of business, and he'll sleep good nights.
Now, Nate, perhaps I am a snob. Perhaps I do believe that fishermen fall very low on the social scale. But I've always admired your type of fisherman.
You can't slip nothing over on me.
I've always admired the courage it takes to face those awful storms in the North Atlantic. I know I couldn't do it myself. I mean, what is it that draws a man to that kind of life?
I don't know. I never thought about it. All I know is, when I was a boy, I thought a Highland skipper was the greatest man in the world, and I wanted to be one more than President of the United States.
It's hero worship. You've saved a few lives yourself.
I ain't no hero. I had my own life saved. It's all in a day's work. Because what boy wouldn't want to be behind the wheel of a vessel in a spanking breeze?
I could see how the glamorous sail might appeal to a boy, and maybe that's what attracts Charlie Fred. But I just can't see him standing up to that rugged life, though. He's been pampered too much.
It ain't what he's used to. But don't think about it. The ones you're sure aren't going to make it are the toughest sometimes. It wouldn't spite me if he made top hand.
Well, I certainly hope not. But his mother and I have decided to let him take a trip.
Good idea. That way, if he can't make it, he can just forget it.
Just so. But we'd like him to have to go with you.
I got a full crew. I'll take him the first chance I get.
Oh, whenever you can. We just know he'd be safe in your hands.
The only hands anyone's safe in at sea is God's.
We realize that. But it'd be good for you just to be along to help.
Small problem with that. If something happened to the boy, God wouldn't be around to take the blame. I might.
We'd understand.
I don't intend to lose a man on the Artemisia if I can help it. And I'll look after him, whether the names are Charlie Fred Monson or French Boudreau.
That is as it should be.
It ain't exactly true. I've always wanted a boy like Charlie Fred. He's the only thing you got that I envy you for. Suppose I'd keep a closer eye on him. How does a psalm-singing sissy like you sire a boy like that? I don't understand. Did you have any help?
You shouldn't joke like that. But he is an exceptional boy for these hectic times. The way some of them carry on the girls is a caution. Some of them smoke cigarettes too. I wouldn't be surprised if some of them turn out to be cigarette fiends like Everett Haskin and smoke 15 to 20 a day.
He's on an even keel. I wouldn't go down in a dory with him, though.
Oh, of course you would.
But I could put him in a dory with one of my top hands that will show him all the ropes.
Well, that's all we can expect. Don't misunderstand. I sure hope he won't like it.
Well, it's miserable out there this time of year. It's squally, there's fog, and it's cold as hell yet. Say, what happens if he actually likes it.
Well, I'd have to like it too. I'd be disappointed, but I wouldn't stand in his way.
Well, I'll be damned.
Just so. And I'll confess, I probably admire him for being able to stand up to all that.
Well, then I'm gonna take back some of the things I said about you.
No hard feelings?
No hard feelings.
How's that ear bill fixed up, John?
Seth, we decided to let Charlie Fred take a trip with me.
Good. That's awful good. Now I don't have to do any more scheming.
You mean scheming?
I've been trying to figure a way for him to get to go for a long time. Didn't quite know how to get around it, though.
Oh, you old scallywag.
Well, maybe he could go as his doryman.
Oh, good idea. The fish would catch us.
I'm gonna take him next trip. You can go as a passenger.
You better mean it, because I'll go. Unless Charlie Fred thinks that you're taking me to look after him.
Of course he would.
Well, then I'm practically out of the banks now. Hey, can I go cabin boy or something? I'd like to have some kind of a job, sort of work my passage.
Well, you can go as captain of the sink. Give me Cookie's helper.
Who'll be Cookie's helper? Me. I'm going to take next trip. I've been waiting 50 years to go, and now I'm going. So keep your courage. You may be able to go someday yourself.
Well, I hope I don't have to wait quite as long as you did.
Don't keep him guessing.
Nate has decided to take you along too, Charlie Fred.
Oh, I see. You're gonna be my nursemaid.
I was afraid you'd think that. So I'll stay ashore.
You're silly. I'd take you this trip, but I got a full crew.
You mean I'm going as a hand?
I wouldn't take you any other way.
I take it all back, Jeff. You could have nursemaid me in a dory if you wanted to. This is great. I feel like celebrating. I gotta tell Deb. Wait, no, she's not gonna like this.
You can tell me once in a while, and I'll be duly impressed.
And you can hint to me that you're going along with it, and we can talk about how lucky we are.
Let me get some help from the crew. Come on, boys! Let's go! Hey.
My watch has begun at the setting of the sun. There's nothing between me and the deep blue sea. Seven stars on high to navigate by, and a tall ship with her sails unfurled. The captain at his feet is as salty as the sea. My hands run the rigging with ease. When the wind comes up, I says, look up. The spray will knock you to your knees. I whistled one morn and two by forlorn. The wind falls a howling aloft. Oh, pleasant and free, mistress is she, the only one who could sing so soft. And with a gust, we had to bust our asses to get back to port. We rode those great distance we made to where our ship she makes burn. My watch has begun at the setting of the sun. There's nothing between me and the deep blue sea. Seven stars on high to navigate by, and a tall ship with her sails unfurled.
Well, Nate, it looks like you've made two boys very happy.
Yeah,
So perhaps we can go about our business. You'll stop in before you sail in the morning?
will do, John.
And thanks for
Don't mention. Well, Charlie Fred, looks like you finally got your chance. You think you're gonna be able to keep your end up?
Well, why not?
Well, there's this small little thing about underrigging and setting and being out on the shoals. That's about 8,000 hooks you gotta set every single day, and at night you gotta draw down your catch. Huh? Draw it down. You won't get more than 3 or 4 hours of sleep for 3 to 4 days running, and you won't have nothing to wash with but salt water from the time you wake up till the time you go to bed.
The rest of the crew do it, don't they?
They do it as well.
Well, then I can too.
That seems to settle that, Nate.
Well, time will tell.
I'll roll around the port for 3 to 4 days and stay up all night just to see that I can do it.
You might do just that. I suppose I'd have practiced rubbing pans.
You two won't think it's such a joke when I have you out on the banks, driving around the clock.
Gosh, Seth, I can't believe we have to wait an entire month for this.
I think I can do it. I've been waiting 50 years. Another month won't matter very much.
Well, I'm just thinking, you know, like, I haven't felt this excited since the last time I left school, and knew I didn't have to go back again. I feel like celebrating, Seth.
Me too.
Hey, let's go, sit down!
It's fun.
Some strange things are happening in this office today.
You must think we've lost our senses completely.
It's not as bad as you think, Deb. We're not really loony.
I'm afraid she won't believe it. Don't recall that the Sato's hornpipe was ever done in this office before. It's not really fitting if you think about it.
We were only just celebrating, Deb.
I'm not the least bit interested.
It's a bad sign, Charlie Fred. When a woman takes that attitude, there's breakers ahead.
You're right. I guess I should tell her. It's all set for Nate next trip for Seth and I to go. Him as a cabin boy and me as a hand.
I'm still not interested.
I shouldn't have told her that.
You have to tell her sometimes.
Hey, it's my night to call. I'll come around the usual time.
I'm not expecting you tonight.
Now, Debbie, you can't mean that.
You don't seem to care the least bit about my feelings or wishes.
Of course I do. I'll come around the usual time, and I'm certain we can straighten everything out.
I'm not expecting you tonight. And if you do call, I shall certainly not be home.
Thunderation, Charlie Fred. She's really mad at you.
It's just one darn thing after another. I've got my mother and father pretty well talked into it, and now she's acting up. Honestly, sometimes I feel like I'm jinxed. You've been around a long time, Seth. How would the deuce of a fellow not learn how to talk to women anyhow?
Jeannie, Craney, I don't know. You have to talk to someone older than I am. You could buy her a house down in the harbor. What? Family here.
Hi, I'm Andre Robert with English. Here's my card.
working out. Yeah, you don't gotta keep doing it. I get it. It works now. Yeah, okay.
Well, I had to make sure it worked, didn't I? And I'll tell you, you can make a hell of a lot more noise out there.
Yeah, but that needs help to do it. You make all your noise just by yourself.
Some know-nothing of a teamster left us in the dunnage up in the office. Told Debbie it belonged to the Artemisia.
Well, I'll leave it aboard, and if it's any good, we'll just throw it back on the wharf. I can't fix it. What's this I hear about you coming with us next trip, huh?
They tell you?
Yeah, told me to get up a whole new shack locker full of grub for you to eat.
Now I know you're gonna be on the line. But gee, you'll be great being shipmates when you cook.
Why, so it's like you fatten you up?
That'll be good too, but it'll mainly be to help me out. I'll be kind of green.
You aren't hardly green at all. I mean, you already know all of your knots and your sheets.
It's when I get into a dory that bothers me.
Well, you already know enough to get started, and once you go at once, you'll know all you need to keep up with the rest.
Well, I'll give it a hard try. All the crew aboard yet?
About half of them. They're coming by one.
Alrighty. The Artemisia never did have a broker, did she?
No, she didn't. And, well, between you and me, there's some that think Nate's pushing his luck with that. I mean, but me, I don't think so. I've been sailing with Nate ever since he built the Artemisia, and I couldn't ask for a better berth. I mean, I've sailed with all the real killers like Tom Boleyn and Paul Jacobs.
Gee, I wish I was able to say that.
Well, fancy seeing you here, Charlie Fred.
Hey, Byron. Maybe I can get a sight if I can play the fiddle.
You need no more than have a bow of fiddle to get a sight of Nate. Besides, lucky vessel like the Artemisia, don't need no fiddle to bring the fish.
Well, Myra, it's still nice to have, or lucky to have a fiddle along just the same.
That's impressive for a highlight. Lucky vessel, lucky fiddle.
Well, you might need all the luck you can get. You never know what might surprise you out there.
Oh, I don't get surprised at nothing no more. Let me tell you a secret about being here and being surprised. You let your wife have triplets like mine did.
There's no telling what a woman will do when she's ashore and you're off the way.
Well, I'll be getting to go by myself next trip. What do you think of that?
Well, wouldn't I like to get you in a dory, make your stern hang some low?
I'd like to take you up on that, and if you'd allow me, I'd tip my hat to you.
You make a great ship head once it's going to gross. I was green once myself, believe it or not. But all joking aside, I'm glad it came to go, Charlie Fred. And you'd be glad that we shipped it. Yeah.
Appreciate it, Byron. I know I'll be getting a lot of joshing from you fellas, but I don't mind a bit.
Hey, Myron, this your gear?
No, it's ice. You tell me how dirty it is. I'll braid it more forever. You hang on to the fence when she blows there, Charlie Fred.
Don't sit on the keel. Hey, Cookie, Ike's Byron's dory mate, isn't he?
Yeah, they've been through some tough spots together, too.
And, how are they? Pretty good fellas?
Well, Ike's got a bit of a mean streak to him. Some say he talks too much and, well, some that say he's one of them IWW types, industrial workers of the world, you know, but I don't think there's any real harm in him. I mean, Ike is really, hey, Ike?
Hey, skipper aboard yet?
He went aboard, but then went back ashore.
He's up in the office chatting with my old man. There was like 2 chewing fast before he set sails.
Not like chewing the fat about what they're going to do with all the money they make on this trip.
Well, you can't blame him for that. I mean, the more they make, the more you make.
But that's the problem. I don't make enough. And I'm sure they're not upstairs thinking about how to get me more. If anything, it's how to get me less.
Oh, they better not do this next trip. I'm going as I am myself.
Why would the owner's son want to be on a fishing vessel when he can sit up in the office and grow barnacles on your butt?
I'll be moving so fast, there won't be any articles on my bottom.
Plus, we always got room for another top hand fishing.
We've got enough people already. Who's going to be carrying your oar?
Are you telling me that I can't hold up my end? Well, the very man that you say you are, then put him in Come on,
Hey, come on, guys! Let's put John L. Sullivan stuff. Come on.
I just don't want any of these fellas to think I'm a sissy.
Well, you don't gotta lick them to make them think that. And you ought to know better. You know Knight won't stand for no fighting.
Don't look at me. He's the one talking about fighting.
Why don't you just go get below deck and get to work? He'll have plenty more for you to do when he gets here.
And we'll see how well you do in a dory.
You watch your tongue. Otherwise, people will start calling you a sea lawyer. And then no one will want to give you a say. Yeah, it's a free country, but you might break your neck trying to prove it. And you gotta watch out about how you stand up to these tough trawler types. I mean, some of these guys are so tough, you hold their head underwater, they'll starve to death before they drown.
That's fair. I just want to show these fellas I don't mind getting a little headed up myself.
Well, it was good of you to stand up to him like that. Ike will blame the hell out of you if he thinks he can get away with it. You watch out. You'll probably try it again sometime too.
Yeah, well, there's no point in me hanging around hoping nobody shows up missing. I better get back to work. Time will go by quicker that way.
Yeah, we'll be gone like 3 or 4 weeks. It'll go like a shot for you.
Can't come too quickly for me.
Hide the starboard there, landlubber. Ain't you got no forward watch?
Well, hey, Captain. Great day for sailing today. Nice breeze, too.
Yeah, finest kind. We should make knots today.
Yeah, I tried to stow away in the shack locker, but Cookie had it so full of grub.
No, good thing you didn't. We use stowaways as bait.
Yeah.
Well, I was hoping to see if anybody showed up missing, but I gave it up in the end.
You'll get your chance. And I hope you make the best of it with all the chinning you've been doing.
Well, I hope to live up to your expectations, or I'd never be able to live it down, especially when you get the crossroom going over on the rig when you come around to the point.
Well, I just hope that I do well enough not to disappoint you. If I were you, I'd go up and look after that girl of yours. She looks awful glum this morning.
She's mad at me, Captain.
Got your hands busy soft soaping up, huh?
Well, gee, I don't know.
Cookie, let's not on board yet.
Let's see, we're missing Lem, Nucky, Isaac, Joe, and Dory Plug and French.
Strange about Lem, he's usually the first one here.
Yeah, you can never seem to get away from home fast enough as it is.
Dory Plug and French, you always have. They always stop for that last one. Well, good luck.
And Nucky's last in everything, except for fishing.
I never worry about nothing.
Hey, Liz, where's Lem?
He's sick. Where's the skipper?
Oh, he's right over here. Hey, Skipper, Liz Bruiser wants to talk to you. Hope he ain't too sick.
He's bad, all right. I don't know how bad, though. Hi, Andy. Lem's sick and he can't go this trip.
Sorry to hear that, Liz. What happened? I saw him in front of the post office just yesterday. He looked all right in the face.
Well, he ain't sick in the face. He's sick in the gut.
Of course, I didn't see that.
I should hope not. Not in broad daylight right out on Main Street.
Well, when did it take him?
Yeah, he's been complaining about a week. Then last night we had a little snack of baked beans and mince pie and hot tea before we turned in. Same as we always do. His appetite was good, but he hadn't been to sleep more than an hour before he woke up howling, complaining of an awful nightmare and guts ache. He was sick as a squid.
Dr. Bendel?
Of course not. Cost $1 to get one of them fellas. I dosed him up with some Paragoric, and that seemed to ease his pain. But he was weak as a rag this morning. I told him he better stay ashore, in case he has that inflammation of the bowels that has been killing lots of people these days. And I know you don't want anybody dying aboard the Artemisia.
No, Liz. He should stay ashore until he finds out if he's all right. Cookie, go and find Myra and tell him I want us to talk to him, will you?
Sure thing, Nate.
Thanks. You tell him to watch what he eats before he goes to bed. He ain't no spring chicken anymore.
Never been a problem before. He's always had a healthy appetite. By the way, is Nucky aboard yet?
No, not yet.
All right, Lem wanted me to tell him something, so I'll wait till he comes. My God, my feet are killing me. Ugh. Been up with him half the night, what with the hot water bottles and the hand-holding and the complaining about the nightmare. Men are awful babies. He complained more about the nightmare than he did about the bellyache. Thanks, Nate. I hope you have a nice trip.
Nuck will be right along. All right, I'll be fine, Charlie Fred. Tell him I want to talk to him. Don't tell him anything else, just that.
Hey, Liz, are you on sick? Taking his place?
No, I ain't, but I bet I could, though.
Don't doubt that. God help the poor fish, you did.
And God help you if I was your dory mate.
Don't doubt that either.
Hey, let's get some help hoisting this mainsail!
Right, all hands up! Hoist the mainsail! Hey, Ike! Let's go!
Let's go!
Hey, Liz.
Hiya, Nucky. Lem can't go this trip.
Oh, yeah?
Hiya. He's sick. He had an awful nightmare that scared him. He dreamt he saw a man climbing up the rigging of the Artemisia and disappearing on the cross streets.
Oh, yeah?
Hiya. And you know what that means. It means death.
Aye.
Somebody's gonna get lost, and Lem thinks it's gonna be him. He wasn't quite sure, though, because he couldn't see a face. so it might not be him at all. Either way, he ain't taking no chances and he's staying ashore this trip. It might be you. He wanted me to tell you, said you've been dory mates for long enough, that he thought it might be a warning to you. You don't want to see nothing happen to you.
Maybe it wasn't me if you didn't see no face.
He's scared if it's one of you.
Maybe it don't mean nothing, just something ye.
You're saying that to fool yourself. You know it means death. It's an omen. Why, only 4 or 5 years ago, Big Jim Fallon dreamt that he saw the crew of the Nancy James climbing up the rigging and disappearing off the cross trees. He told Slobbery Dick Snow about it. Slobbery Dick threw his gear ashore and wouldn't go. And you know what happened then? The Nancy James sailed out of the harbor, never to be seen of nor heard tell of since.
Yeah, I know, but I gotta go anyways. Lily's been sick a lot, and you got bills to pay.
Nothing seems to jar you. But I know Len will never go to sea again, not until he finds out who's supposed to get lost aboard the Artemisia. And let's face it, he ain't no good for nothing ashore.
I hope you don't have to stay ashore. You get those good dory.
You know, by the way, I didn't tell Nate about it. Lem thought I better not, said Nate would have to sail anyway. He couldn't keep the Artemisia tied under the wharf forever.
Maybe I would go myself if I had a dream.
Well, I hope it ain't you, but you can't say I didn't warn you.
Don't go talking to Millie about this. She's got enough to worry now.
I won't say nothing to nobody ever. This is between you and me. Wipe the tobacco juice off your chin.
Bye, Liz.
I hope it ain't you, but you can't say I didn't warn you.
Well, keep them away from the women while they're out there, Liz.
Len's got plenty he can tend to at home.
She says to us,
Swing up a little bit, moving more of us. Pete, will ya? Make it fast. Let's go, Joe, Isaac.
Sorry, Fred said he'll be right down. He said something about tea.
Much fly, Connor.
Captain.
Hey, now. You hear about Len?
Yeah.
You okay with Charlie Fred going as your dory mate? He's not as green as you think, but he's young and he's willing.
That's all right.
You drive him hard. Keep an eye on him.
Yeah.
Mike, give that wheel a spin and see if she's ready to sail.
right, Dave?
Hey, Captain, I completely forgot about the tea.
What tea?
The extra 5 pounds of tea you ordered yesterday.
Oh, that's not what I wanted to hear.
Well, maybe then I'll do it.
How would you like to go on this trip as Nuck's dory mate?
Gee, Nucky's the best dory mate in the whole fleet.
Lem's sick, he can't go.
Well, I won't be the second.
Whoa, wait a minute now, come back here.
I was going to get my gear.
I don't want no game of mine getting excited when there's nothing to get excited about. Is that how you handle good tea?
Well, I'm sorry.
And I didn't say he was going, I asked if he'd like to go.
I'd like it fine.
All right, go up and ask your father if you can go.
Right.
Whoa, if he says yes, go and say goodbye to your mother.
I won't be long.
No, don't rush. Go as fast as you can without hurrying. Aye, sir, what is this, the Navy? Mike, bring this tea down to Cookie and tell him Charlie Fred's going in Lem's place.
I suppose we'll have to treat him with kid gloves.
You won't either. You'll treat him like any other green hand.
I just hope he doesn't change our luck. You know, the owner's son on board isn't much use to us.
Are you trying to tell me who to put in my own vessel?
No, I'm not.
Then keep your mouth shut and do what you're told. Now, after you give that to Cookie, you raise the flag and signal the tug. She'll be here way before Frenchie and Dory Plug will.
I say to her, oh, why don't you take a walk with the Frenchie? And she said to me, why don't you go lay an egg? What's she mean, Dory Plug? Lay an egg?
I don't know, maybe it's a chicken on a raft.
Hey, yo, chicken on a raft, and looking at corn, it tugs again. Hey, yo, chicken on a
for those last drinks.
Oh, it's okay.
No, I gotta pay my debts.
Oh, come on, you do it when we get back.
My father always said, you pay as you go.
But Jim Winters knows you pay him.
My grandfather said, you pay your debts, you can look any man in the face.
Dory, you're a funny guy.
What, Dory? Captain Nate's sailing any minute. He'll leave you on shore. Frenchie had no Dory name. What do I do?
I am an honest man. That's the problem with you foreigners. You don't know what an honest man is.
It's okay.
Goodbye.
No. We'll check out Captain Nate will help us. He'll
Let me-
fix it.
let me-
Come on.
Let me go, you French bastard!
What is all the yelling about?
Dory Plug forgot to pay Jim Winters for his last drinks.
Why didn't he pay for them when you got them?
He forgot.
Hey, I gotta pay my debts. I gotta pay my debts.
I'll tell you what I'll do, Dory Plug. You pay me, and then I'll owe Jim Winters, and then you won't have a worry in the world.
Let me see. I pay you. You pay Jim Winters. I don't know nothing. Hey, that's good.
Now, go below and get in your bunk. And when you wake up, you'll be a new man.
So I don't know nothing, and you owe Jim Winters. Say, that's good. I get some rest.
Yeah, Frenchie, go with him. Grab a king. Wait, Frenchie. Why is it you can't just be satisfied with a couple instead of getting loaded to the gills?
Western bag, far place, no drink.
You never had a day with no drinks.
Well, I guess you can't change the nature of a man.
Oh, Captain Nate, you make Dory Plug so happy. You're a very smart man.
I wouldn't go as far as to say that.
Oh, you're smarter than Paul Jacobs and Captain Dillon.
Get below before I throw you off the dock.
Charlie, Fred,
Debbie,
I just heard you were going with Captain Nate this trip, and you were going to go without saying goodbye to me?
I thought you were mad at me.
I wasn't that bad. I couldn't let you go without saying goodbye to you.
Well, gee, Debbie, I felt terrible when you wouldn't let me come over to see you last night.
You hurt my feelings. I didn't think that an office was a proper place to show affection.
I'm sorry, Deb.
It's better, now you're being nice.
I thought you were mad at me for wanting to go to sea, too.
Well, going to sea is no life for young people to face when there's something so much better.
There's nothing better than being a captain.
Hoping you'll find out what's wrong with that this one trip. You're not in the office now.
Corey!
Please be careful and do everything Captain Nate tells you.
Will do. I got your picture with me.
I hope it brings you luck.
Thanks, Debbie. Well, goodbye. I'll be thinking of you.
Bye, Charlie, Fred.
Bye, Debbie.
Bye.
Bye. Goodbye. Well, got everything with me but my sea legs.
You'll get them soon enough. If you're any good on a boat like the rest of us. Now take your gear below, store in the forecastle, and tell Cookie you're down there. He'll show you where your bunk is, and he'll answer any questions you have.
I know every inch of the Artemisia.
Boat underway is nothing like one tide in the dock. Now, don't be such a know-it-all. And look alive. When anyone tells you to do something, don't tootin'.
You better listen to Nate.
All right, Dave.
Hey, Captain Nate.
What are you doing on the docks, Debbie?
I wanted to speak with you about Charlie, Fred.
What about Charlie, Fred?
I'm afraid you'll pamper him. I wish you'd make him see what a hard life fishing is.
I'm not gonna pamper him. He'll know we ain't been yachting when he gets home.
Well, can't you keep him cold and wet and seasick all the time?
I can't make him seasick. Only the sea can do that.
Well, have some storms said, nothing too big, just enough to make big waves.
I can't make, what am I? I'm not a magic fella. I can't make storms. You're really against Charlie Fred going fishing.
Well, if he's bound to go fishing, I'll make the best of it like everybody else, but I'm certainly trying to discourage him, and you can help me. You can give him all the miserable jobs, make him wish he were home, in his bed. You can give him bed bugs.
Where would I find bed bugs on the Artemisia?
Don't try to tell me the Artemisia doesn't have bed bugs. They've all got bugs. She's no different than the rest.
Hey, skipper, try to pull one side. How far do you want to tow?
Till the breakwater. Get him on board. I'll be right up.
Right. They're about to catch the town line.
Stand by.
Stand by!
I gotta go, Debbie. Now look, be a good girl and don't fret. I'm gonna run Charlie Fred through the ropes, and we'll find out if he can handle himself down inside that dory.
You didn't tell me you intended to let him go out on a dory.
He's gonna do the same as any other hen.
Yeah, but out in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean in one of those things?
Cast off the shorelines! You take care of everything ashore while we're gone, Debbie.
Don't you dare let anything happen to him.
Omens. Omens. So many omens. I know it's all
see jammery boy, jibbery yory bory. Hikey, zikey, zikey, pikey, jibber go wallaby glory.
I never laughed so hard. Do him some more.
Right down, Frenchman.
Not now, Crunchy. Sounds like the on deck when I'm thinking things like this. It's got good ears.
Ah, good ears for music anyway.
He's got good ear for anything. He hears better asleep than you do awake.
Ah, what you talking about? I have big ears. Look, see?
Big, all right. But Myron uses his for something to keep the cat from going over his eyes like you do. One time we were out in the storm, the squall came up so thick, the fog, I couldn't see the blades of the oars. I was sure we were goners. All I could hear was the wind howling. He rode us right up next to the vessel. He heard the horn the whole time.
God, the fog. It's all around us.
Lots of fog up there too.
There is.
On the rolling sea, spirit speaks to me. Out on the rolling sea, when she rolls. Out on the rolling sea, spirit speaks to me. Out on the rolling sea, when she rolls.
Life has been this way since the dawn of the first day. No matter what we plan or where we roam, we're passing through this place, each at a different pace. The world is just a journey, it's not our home. Cannot own the earth, can count how much it's worth. Cannot keep the riches that you earn. Remember you're a guest and forget about the rest. Just look and listen, love, try to learn.
Out on the rolling sea, spirit speaks to me. Out on the rolling sea, when she rolls. Out on the rolling sea, spirit speaks to me. Out on the rolling sea, when she rolls.
The fog, she's thick right now.
And this is a hell of a place to be stuck in, a thick fog. Right here in the middle of the steamer lane, no wind, and a hole full of fish we need to get to market.
Not even little bit wind. No wind at all.
Full of fish. We can't get out of our own way.
We need one of those newfangled engines. You don't need no wind with them.
Nah, they break down too quick. Sail much better.
Might as well be broken down. Sail's no good for any wind.
As I said, no wind.
Oh, the thicker that fog gets, the colder it gets.
She's got a good head of steam on her here.
Greasy donuts.
Real greasy.
Yuck.
Come on! You ain't ever had anything other than herring and potatoes before you come to Gloucester.
What you talking about? Lots of good things come from St. Peter.
Oh, yeah. Name one good thing comes from St. Pierre.
Me! I come from there!
That just goes with what I'm saying.
Highway's on these boats, no good.
Ah, set down, Frenchy. They're just trying to get you on a line.
I
Don't
get-
be so thick-headed.
Yeah, I get Cookie on the line, too.
Yeah? Why don't you name one good thing, other than you, comes from St. Pierre?
Red rum.
Quiet! Hear a steering whistle. Ways off.
I don't hear anything.
I keep telling you, you're deafer than a haddock compared to him. He hears better than a guy with 4 ears.
Maybe even 5 years.
Maybe it's his ear for music.
Vibrations, I guess. Don't seem to hear words too good. See, when I was up on deck, I thought I heard a ship. Off the starboard of us.
Yeah, that was probably the Sadie Noonan or the Mighty Mac. They got underway about the same time we did.
I don't see anything.
Of course not. You can't even see through the hole in the donuts.
Not even a hole. I see Cookie.
You're not making any sense,
Yeah. Yeah, Cookie.
Up, Eddie Nucky?
Yeah.
Nope, they're good.
Damn that fog.
I say, damn it!
Anybody hear that steamer whistle? Nope, nobody said nothing. What's the gang been doing on deck? Put the main topsail on it, lit a couple of torches.
Nate knows all the tricks.
Ah, yeah.
Ugh. Corey, the fog is so thick, you get drowned without getting your feet wet.
Look at who's telling us about the fog.
Yeah, the green one.
What's the matter? You fellas can't take a joke?
Hey, Charlie Fred, have some donuts. You're the last one of us to mug up.
No donuts, just tea for me today.
What happened to that seagoing appetite? I mean, yesterday you could eat a whole horse.
I got a headache. Seasick. You don't get a sore throat when you're seasick.
You got a sore throat.
Yeah, a little one.
Probably just a tiny one. Let me have a look. Open up. Oh, yeah. White patches in it. Oh, you've got a fever. I tell you what, you drink that tea good and hot, we gotta get you sweating.
It don't amount to anything. What do you think I am, a baby?
Yeah, a baby.
Cookie doses all of us. Hey, what Cookie says draws a lot of water with us, especially when we don't feel so good.
These large glasses, just like Mama's.
Good like candy. Well, if you fellas can live through his remedies, I guess I can too.
Might as well take care of these things before they get too bad.
But what'll Nate say though?
Well, if he was about to go fishing, I'd just dose you right up and put you in a dory. But right now, I don't want to take any chances.
That steamer whistle again.
I hear him too. I listen hard.
I've been through plenty of fog. Expect to again, but I don't have to like it.
Man, that whistle.
But fog is better than a gale, I think.
Some ways, maybe. You can stand up and walk around on the deck, but in the gale, you're gonna hang on tight. But when that fog comes in, all you can hear is that horn blowing. It sounds like someone's getting hurt.
You're selling, old woman.
I don't like fog.
Me neither.
Well, neither do I. Don't hear me yapping about it.
Donuts is more better than fog.
Hey, Charlie, friend. I forget what I was gonna say. Oh boy, I'm losing my mind right now.
Looks like you're preparing some medicine.
Yeah, let's see. Open it up. Yeah, let's open it up and there you go. I don't think it's quite ready yet. Here, drink that tea good and hot. We gotta get you sweating before it cools off and you get it.
Cookie, you should have been a doctor.
Or a midwife. No. I don't want nothing with no women or no babies. I mean, I tell you, if women start going fishing, I'll open up a hash house ashore.
You couldn't work ashore if you wanted to.
Lots of women are short cookies.
Yeah, there's more leeway ashore. I mean, get done away from them easier.
The trouble with you is, all you know is those 50-cent floozies on Rogers Street.
All this one's more better.
No.
Nah, you get followed up with the right one, you'll change your mind.
No. Frenchie's right. I mean, the better they are, the more they cost. And well, you fellas are always going on about how you don't make enough as it is. All right, Charlie Fred, medicine should be good. Now, open one up and take it like a man. There you go. Wait. Don't swallow that so fast. Come on. Look at it real slow so it greases up all your sore spots.
Sore throat too, Cookie?
Oh, come on. You ain't got a sore throat. Wouldn't know it if you did.
Watch it, Cookie. They'll steal all your lard and molasses. That's what they used to get in their Christmas stocking down St. Pierre.
What are you talking about, Dory Plug?
All right, Charlie Fred. Why don't we get these oilcloths off you?
What? What for?
We're gonna have you turn in for a spell.
But what if Nate needs me up on deck?
Well, we got 16 hands running around and a flat palm. You won't miss you nothing.
We ain't gonna miss you at all.
Well, if you say so. I do feel kind of funny at least. I don't think I should go out.
You ain't any hand with that stuff.
Thank you, Dory. Appreciate it.
Look at all that dirt. Got your new oilcloths all dirty.
Hope you ain't any scarier of dirt than I am.
That's down here. Hey, get rid by the minute. Look, well done lobster.
Yeah, you don't look so good.
Hey, can I have some water, Cookie?
Doctor says when you got a fever, you shouldn't drink any water.
Yep. Hot tea is all right.
Isn't hot tea mostly water?
Well, yeah, but it's different. And it's hot. Just drink this, come on.
Alright. Yeah, it's hot, alright.
She must be working then.
These cures are as bad as what ails you, but they work.
All right. We got one more. Here, Charlie Fred, I'm going to pull your boot off. And we are going to take off one of your stockings.
What for? What are you planning now?
We are going to turn this thing inside out
And then, we're gonna put this right around your neck.
Gloucester rudder, Cookie. I've had it on the...
How long you had it on?
I've had it on the whole week. Never took it up once.
Well, good. It only works when it's good and sweaty.
Yeah, sweating.
I don't know why though. Something about it just stops the cold from settling down into your lungs.
If your mom, I can see it now.
Yeah, mama. She used to use flaxseed poultices.
Hey, we all have them. Dirty socks is better.
You gotta be woolen though.
Ah, phew, this stocking stinks.
The clean one's no good. It's the stink that cures you.
What is this? Now, Charlie, friends, let's have another dose of this there. All right? Let it go down real slow, like. Anyway.
Ow! Something bit me.
What?
It's that board. It's splinters. It's all rotten. Did I tear my pants?
See? I told you, rotten. Nah, you didn't tear your pants, not even little bits.
I can't get a wet ass. It's bad for my rheumatism. Charlie Fred, watch out for this board. You can put your foot right through it.
I feel too light to go through anything right now.
Cookie, make sure you tell Nate about this board. Someone's gonna get hurt bad on that.
Oh, yeah? Wonder how that happened.
Maybe worms. Or just plain rotten.
Yeah, well, I'll tell him about it when we get back to port. All right, Charlie, Fred, we're gonna tuck you in.
All right, Cookie. I'm getting hotter and hotter.
Good. That means you're sweating, and if you can get sweating, that fever will break right up.
Alrighty, you say so. My head's still running around a bit, but I feel better.
You're all right now. You're sweating.
I tell you, that fog is thicker than anything I've seen in my old born days. What are you cooking, Cookie? It smells good.
Pea soup.
Yeah, pea soup. Yeah, we should have some wind before long.
Yeah, it's been a couple of hours.
Barometer says the same thing, so I guess we can figure on it.
Always pulls in a high in a fog like this. Don't know about the barometer, but Nucky's always right. Maybe you can toss that barometer right over the side.
I think I'll keep it in case Nuck stays in. I thought I heard a steamer whistle a while ago, Myron. Did you hear it?
Yeah, I heard it. It's pork barrel bus. Both time for that as well. Didn't seem, I guess I can't make it move too far. Can't make it too big enough.
Yeah. You know, that fog's so thick, maybe these speed demons are slowing down. Afraid they're gonna scrape some paint if they hit something.
Too bad they don't hit each other once in a while. Might slow them down.
Hey, Nate. Charlie Fred ain't feeling too good. Says he's got a bit of a cold.
Why didn't you sing out if you weren't feeling good?
I didn't think it amounted to anything.
Well, it takes getting used to the cold and the wet out here. Now, but we'll toughen you up after a spell, huh? Now, don't feel so bad. We all get a cold once in a while.
Yeah, we sure does.
Hey, Nate, while you're over there, have a look at that foot locker. One of the boards is rotten or something. Someone might put a foot through it and get hurt.
I'll have it looked at next time we're in. I got some other carpenter things to do. Remind me if I forget, will you?
Sure thing, Nate.
Now, you do whatever Cookie tells you. You hear me?
Cookie told me to sweat and I'm doing it plenty. I'm melting.
Good. Smart boy.
Now you keep those bedclothes tucked in, Charlie Fred.
All right, Cookie. Nate, if you need me up on deck, I'm fine to stand watch.
I won't need you. I want you to bunk watch right now. That's what I want you on.
I think I can do a good job at that.
You can do a good job at anything. You're not a landlubber anymore. What do you got that's good and shiny? If that lining gets too close, I want to shine something off that topsail. Those liners are so tall, they might not even see us. We're so close to the water.
How's about the top of this kettle? That's good and shiny.
That's great, Cookie. We'll put this at the top of that topsail. It'll look brand new and shiny white yet, huh? We'll be ready for anything.
Can't be too careful with them. Seagoing aristocrats. Because you always seem to want to take out a fisher's boat.
I don't think they do it on purpose. I don't like it either, and I get plenty of cause not to. My brother was lost in the Adventure when she was cut down. One spring, I was on the Weldon. Santa, one of those high-toned podoggers, cut the same boat we was towing right in two. Hove all of us down. They never even slowed up to see what happened to us.
I remember when I was on the Cock Robin, when it got run down by that German liner. And they hove to and picked us up. Well, except the poor bastards in the forecastle. But then they made us feel like it was our fault for being in their way and slowing them up. They got a schedule they want to keep, huh?
Ugh. Too bad about it. All we're trying to do is keep on living.
Yeah, living's important.
Another thing I want to do, if we have Myron, is I want to bang bottom of those trawl tubs. Some people say that sound carries further than the horn. I don't know how it'll be in the fog. We used to do it, to call in the dories before Lothrop invented the horn, and we had to blow our lungs out on a tin one.
Some people like that better than the horn.
Vibrations. It's just like them drums, the savages used to use. Talk in the jungle.
Talking to each other on drums. Myron, I think you're getting in show water there.
No, I ain't either.
I read that in a book once. They pull out a log, stretch an animal skin on top of it, and pound it. Sound carries for miles.
That's right, Dory Plug. I've seen some of those drums before. That's a funny way for talking.
They don't talk as much as you do.
We used to use laying pins to beat them. It made one heck of a racket.
The optics work too, I betcha. Say, think you should break up the beat?
I don't know what you mean.
I'll show you. Whistle again.
My God, it sure is.
Gloucester.
Where's it at now, Myron?
Last time I heard it was off the port bow, but now it's more aft. You see, what it's trying to say is, instead of being like this, you beat like this.
Don't know nothing about music. You just pound it so it does the most good no matter how hard you have to pound it.
All right, do just that. Cookie,
Right.
give me something good and sturdy.
Here.
This should do it. You know what else I'll do? I'll pretend I'm banging on one of them steam-liner skippers, the gold skulls.
There you go, Myron.
You tell.
I tell you, there ain't much that Myron can't do. He will make a good skipper someday.
He brings good luck with his fiddle.
Good luck. Me and two concertinas and a fiddle on board the Cock Robin when she sang.
Maybe the music's only good for catching fish.
Nah, there's other things that can bring the jinx. Sure. I tell you, if that lunkhead on that liner, if he doesn't change his course, then they should clear us by plenty of sea room.
But if they don't see sun or stars for an hour or two, they get lost. No telling what they're going to do.
The rest of you, come up on deck. When you finish your mug up,
What about me?
you stay there until Cookie says you can get up. I'll call you if I want you on the deck.
All right, Nate. That horn sounds like Joe Nugent's cow mooing to get milked.
I wish it was Joe Nugent's cow.
Hey, Nucky, why you not talking?
Huh? It's nothing to say. And you don't say nothing either.
Maybe you talk when you become islands, like me and Dory Plug.
Hey, you leave that man alone. He's got you all beat by himself. And if I was as good as I ought to be in a dory, we'd beat you all to pieces. Next time I'll do better.
And shut up, Frenchie. Stop bragging.
I make poetry for you to cheer you up. You're all nervous.
Oh, God.
Not again.
The wind she blows on St. Pierre. By and by she blows some more. I hope the wind comes to us and blows us all to shore. Ha ha ha! Funny, no?
No!
I never have so few. Cookie, I go on deck. Give me slop bucket.
There you go.
Oh. I go and I whistle.
Nate would haul you over the side if you did that.
Oh, come on. Not even a little whistle for
Ah.
me to gale?
No, you won't whistle. You're too scared in the gale. But I tell you what, Frenchie, why don't you just go up and talk at the mainsail? I mean, you talk enough to make a 2-reef breeze as it is.
I talk to Mainsail. I say, hello, Mr. Mainsail. Oh, the old ladies downstairs, they're worried about the fog. Are you worried about the fog?
Oh.
He's all right.
Sure, we know. He's just trying to keep up with the rest of the men.
Yeah, all those foreigners are like that.
He's got a strong back, but he doesn't keep up with you in the dory.
Oh, yes, he does. He's getting pretty good these days.
But he doesn't have to brag about it all the time.
I better get on deck.
That thing's getting awful close, ain't it?
Yeah.
About a quarter mile away.
Don't suppose that farmer's changed his course, do you?
I think it sounds astern of us now, though.
Let's hope she stays there.
Yeah.
Slop bucket coming down!
You didn't have to scare us all half to death. Hey, it's half full of fog.
You make our laugh, Dory Plug.
All the years I've been going to sea, no one's ever tucked me in like this.
What? You jealous, Ike?
Ah, you leave the boy be. You've been hitting things the whole trip. And he ain't afraid of his own shadow neither. Those bedposts must be around you in case you have to get up sudden. You're a damn good dory mate. And I hope it ain't you.
too young to die. Benefit be me.
Die? Die? Are you very sick?
Nothing. I must have been talking myself, I guess.
Why the old coot have to talk about dying? He's off his bear. He's got his foot messed up by the fog.
Oh, I don't know about that, Ike. He ain't crazy. But something's on his mind. I mean, he's been off by himself the whole trip.
Die?
But he's been chewing his mustache more than ever.
I don't know why he has to talk about dying. Who wants to think about dying? Anyway.
He'll have us all balmy. I think I've seen a ghost.
Just hope he knew what he was saying when he said that I was a good dory mate.
Well, of course he did. You wouldn't have said it if he didn't mean it.
That makes me feel a lot better.
That's true. Keep covered up. You gotta undo all the sweat you've done.
All right, Doctor.
There goes Myron with his vibrations. That Nate things are everything.
Oh, if I have to listen to that banging all day, it's gonna drive me absolutely crazy. There's no wonder them savages are always eating each other up. They have to listen to that all the time.
I don't need that to give me the creeps when I got all this fog out here.
I gotta get up on deck. That's driving me nuts. Tell you what, maybe I'm gonna go bang on top too if I don't get moving. Damn thing's getting closer.
Well, we put a first on him. I'll be right up to help.
I got my fingers crossed.
You know, I can't get over what Nucky was talking about. I mean, it's almost like he knows something's gonna happen if we don't.
Well, you'll never find out from that old fogey. But what got me concerned is that steamer. When she hits the forecastle, no one gets out.
That's right.
Don't you listen to him, Charlie Fred. I mean, one or two folks can get out of a forecastle in case the ship goes down if they got enough time. So I'm sure Captain Nate will give us enough time to get out if she gets too close for comfort now.
But those things can sneak up on you if they make you nuts. But the thing is with Nucky, it's like he knows it's a jinx somewhere.
And you keep quiet, and you, watch your tongue on this jinx stuff. Why don't you just go up on deck and batten down that tongue of yours before I do it for you? Next thing you know, you don't know nothing.
Look at your engine, skipper!
All hands! All hands on deck! Every man for himself! She goes down! What's the matter? My leg! I can make it go! Shut up! Do what you're told! Now, come on! Wait! I don't know! Wait! Dave! Cannot roam the earth, can't count how much it's worth, cannot keep the riches that you remember you're a guest. And forget about the rest. Just look and listen, love and try it. Out on the rolling sea, Spirit speaks to me. Out on the rolling sea.
Hello, this is John F. Munson Company. Mr. Munson is not here at present. May I take a message? Mr. Bates is here. I'll call him. Mr. Bates,
Coming.
there's a telephone call either for you or Mr. Munson, and he's not back from lunch yet.
Who's calling?
I'm not sure, but it was long distance.
Hello, this is Seth Bates. Yes, I'll stand by. That was our New York agent, Sam Peabody, calling, but the connection's been broken. The operator's going to call us back.
Beauty and the Beast. I've heard of it, didn't never expect to see it.
You be careful what you say, Billy Hall. I don't mind you calling me beautiful, but I don't like to hear you calling Debbie names.
I guess you know who's being called names. Nobody will call me beautiful unless they've lost their rudder.
Some of you skippers might, Captain Billy.
Why, Debbie Warden, is that a nice thing to say? May just as well say us skippers is all crazy.
Oh, yeah? Debbie's a smart girl, Billy.
Every time I come in here, I get insulted. Hey, where's John?
He's not in yet.
Well, I was wondering if you'd heard anything about Nate. I'm sailing the day after tomorrow, and I was hoping he'd be in before I sail. If he's got a lot of fish, I want to know where he got them.
I heard Captain Seelig say he hailed them and that they were doing well. He said they should be in about a week if good fishing's kept up.
That'd be today or tomorrow.
That Nate can land on the fish every time.
You've got a pretty good nose for yourself.
Looks like he'll be in before us now.
Debbie, have a notebook and pencil ready. It might be something we want to make a note of. Hello, this is Seth Bates. Hello, Sam. How are you? What do you have on our minds? Repeat that, Sam. What was the liner's name? Debbie, write this down. The French liner Navette. Yes, Sam. I don't know. Any particulars? All right. You'll see that the crew is taken care of and shipped back home. Goodbye.
What is it, Seth?
I'll tell you in a minute. Waldo, Jack, come here. I've got to get John.
Want me? Or me?
Run out and find Mr. Munson. Tell him he's wanted at the office.
Now.
Right now.
Should we run?
Yes, Waldo, run.
And you want us to run back?
Run along, run along.
I'll beat you, Jack. No, you won't, Waldo.
It's the Artemisia. She's been cut down. All the crew were saved.
What about Nate? How did it happen?
I told Sam at the thick of fog the night before last, and Charlie Fred was in his bunk at the time, but he jumped down. He fell through a rotten board in the footlocker.
But he got out.
Nate went down and helped him out, but he wasn't able to get himself out before the crash.
Better right He's coming, better right outside.
Good, thank you.
You want us to go back to the office?
Yes.
Welcome.
I suppose Sam will let you know as soon as he knows more about it.
He'll do everything he can. He's been looking after our interests in New York for years now. He'll know what to do.
I wonder what could have put a jinx on the Artemisia. She was such a lucky boat. Someone put a jinx on her.
Oh, not Charlie Fred.
That's what everybody will think. She's been so lucky, and to have this happen his first trip.
He'll never go to sea again if people start thinking he's a jinx.
I'd rather have him go to sea than have people think that. But he might get all queer in the head like Scrod Coombs for being called a jinx.
Waldo or Jack seem to think I should be running right along with them. What is all the hurry?
We have some terrible news, Mr. Munson.
The Artemisia's been cut down. Everybody's safe, but Nate.
How's the crew? They're all landed in New York. The The liner had no trouble picking them up, but Nate was trapped in the forecastle, and Charlie Fred is in the Bellevue Hospital now.
You didn't tell us that.
How bad is it?
The only thing that Sam could find out at the time was there was something the matter with one of his legs.
No other information?
Sam's partner, Norm Elliott, is in the hospital now. Sam says we can expect a call from him any minute. That's why there's such a hurry to get me here.
Well, it's very thoughtful of Sam. We can get our information right at the source.
Sam thought you'd like to talk to the doctor, so he'll call me later and give us more details.
It seems like something could be done about those liners that won't slow down for nothing.
Nate Morrison was worth the whole French fleet.
Was it a French ship that cut them down?
The liner, that.
If Sam Peabody calls again, tell him I said to get all the particulars and institute proceedings immediately. It's all we can do. If the courts find him at fault enough times, it may force some action.
Didn't they say anything else at all about Charlie Fred, Mr. Bates?
Nothing, Debbie, nothing.
Be patient, Deborah. We'll know very soon.
It's a good thing Nate doesn't have any close relatives here to have to tell.
Seth, would you mind contacting his relatives in Yarmouth, Nova Scotia?
He has a cousin sailing out of here, but I'll be sure to notify the people in Yarmouth.
I just don't know quite how to tell Charlie Fred's mother about this. I'm not good at this sort of thing.
Would you like to have me tell her, Mr. Munson?
I would love it very much, Deborah, and thank you for the offer, but I'm afraid I must do this myself, no matter how awkward I am.
I know exactly how you feel, John. It's going to be hard to tell anybody about this without them getting all upset.
Only there was something we could do.
Don't you start getting involved.
Hello? Yeah, hello, Norm. Yes, he's right here. I'll put him on. Thanks, Norm. He's got the doctor there for you to talk with.
Hello, this is John Munson. I'm the boy's father. Thank you, doctor. Please just tell me what his condition is. Okay, I'll get to New York as soon as possible, and I'll talk to you then, doctor. Thank you. Goodbye. Well, he's in no immediate danger, but he has a broken ankle and pneumonia.
It's terrible.
Well, the doctor expects no complications. He's young and healthy and has everything in his favor.
Charlie Fred wouldn't let a little thing like pneumonia bother him any. It takes a while to get over a busted ankle.
Yeah, I feel better about talking to his mother about this, though. The doctor seems so confident. But I'll have to get down there right away, of course.
Will you take Mrs. Munson with you?
I prefer not. I'd rather she stayed and go later, but if she doesn't, it'd be nice if you could spend the evening with her.
I'd be happy to.
And I'll need you and Seth to carry on along the way.
Tell him I'll write to him. And you will let us know how you find him right away?
I promise.
Will you send him my love?
I certainly will.
Tell him we're all.
And Seth, make sure to reassure all the crew's families after you get all the facts.
I will, John.
Mr. Bates, he's so far away, and it may be months before I get to see him. What will I do?
Do show what you're made of.
But pneumonia, people die of pneumonia.
Some do, some don't.
See's a funny thing. Gives us a living, but sometimes it takes away more than it gives.
We're so helpless against it.
But what would we all do without the sea?
We do what other people do who have never seen the ocean.
Get out your nonsense, Debbie. Those people don't even know they're alive. If all you've got to look at is dirt, trees, and houses, what's the sense of living anyhow? Even if you can't go out on it, just to look at it is something. Watching it change from one minute to the next, that'll keep you busy. And then there's the air. Like 2 good whiffs of a dry northeaster, and your blood starts running faster in your brains, in your veins. Gosh, Debbie, those people who live away from the salt water don't got no way of knowing whether they're living or not.
That's the trouble with you fishermen. You don't realize there's any other kind of life.
I've seen the way other people Take the big cities, New York, Boston. If you want to live the way they do, you're welcome. They're crowded together like a bunch of mackerel and just as crazy. Always in a hurry and never seeming to care which way they go. And somebody's always getting killed in them. It's not even safe to live in the city.
I know you're trying to be kind, Captain Billy, but nothing you can say will make fishing any safer. And look, Captain Nate drowned, and you know how they are. You know what they'll say. Blame it all on Charlie Fred.
Come, Debbie, come now. That's all part of this business we're mixed up in. We do what we can with it when we come to it. None of us are in love with the sea right now after what it's done to us, but we have work to do. And work is an awful good thing at a time like this. So let's carry on with our job. Lower the flag. We'll remember Artemisia. We'll remember Captain Days.
The other night I drank some rum in the local pub, and in the morn I woke and saw the girls great high above. Roll and go, ride, schooner, ride, and in the morn I woke and saw the Gulf Stream high above.
The captain put me straight to work. I told him I declined. I paid for that and more, my son. I got my fill of brine.
Roll and go, ride, schooner, ride. I paid for that and more, my son. I got my fill of brine.
The storm approached and caught us blind. It ripped our sails to shreds. The rocks gouged holes in all our minds. We'll surely end up dead.
Roll and go, ride, schooner, ride. The rocks got holes in all our minds. We'll surely end up dead. I woke this time to crashing waves and crying gulls above. God bless the seas and stars alike. I'm off to find my love. Roll and go, ride, schooner, ride. I'm off to find my love at last. Wait not day or night.
How's that Norfolk order coming, Seth?
I'm afraid we're going to be a little shy.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it. We're gonna have plenty of fish to fill that order. I can't get over expecting to see the Artemisia every time I look out that window.
I miss her too. Seems like there's something missing all of it every day. Doesn't seem possible. It's been 6 months she's been gone.
I haven't been able to talk about it much, but I feel a certain guilt about Nate getting lost. I practically put the responsibility on him to make sure Charlie Fred got home safely.
Mr. Munson, I felt the same way. I told Captain Nate not to dare let anything happen to him, and I feel dreadful ever since.
Well, it's good we can share the blame.
But that's how he wanted it. And I don't know what would have happened to him if he saved himself and lost Artemisia and Charlie Fred too. I seem to think that if he was a mind to, he could have gotten out in time. You know, it took about 3 minutes for her to sink.
You don't suppose he had some sort of premonition he was going to lose the Artemisia, do you?
We'll never know. We do know he loved that boat. Lots of skippers are attached to their boat, but I've never seen one that was so wrapped up in a boat as he was in her.
That makes me feel a little bit better, doesn't it, you, Deborah?
Yes, but I do miss Captain Nate.
We all do. Yeah, he was an awful good man.
There was none like him.
Sorry to bother such hard-working people.
No sarcasm from you, Billy Hall.
Hey, Billy, heard you got in last night.
Hello, John. And Debbie, you're looking as pretty as ever.
Hello, Captain Billy.
Did you have a nice trip?
Well, we struck a little weather. It's a funny thing how that happened. A puff hit us. There was no wind before, and none afterwards. It's a good thing the topsail carried away, or we would have been hauled down for sure. That's what I wanted to talk to you about, John. See, the Resolute is a fast boat, but she don't like sudden changes. I was thinking if we changed the rigging a little bit, she'd be a better sailor.
More expense.
Get out, you old money bags.
Well, come in the office, Billy. We'll talk about it.
You know, Billy, I almost got out to the bank. Captain Nate was going to take me next trip, but I guess I'll never get to go now.
Why didn't you tell me you wanted to go? I'll expect you to be my guest on my very next trip.
Gosh, Billy, thanks. I thought I'd have to do a lot more hinting than that.
Yes, I fooled him, Debbie.
Debbie, it looks like I'm going fishing after all.
I'll never understand you men. Why should a man of your age be so determined to go fishing?
Look, Debbie, men are peculiar people. Myself, I've seen everything I care to see and done everything I care to do except going fishing. By thunder, I'm going fishing. My wife ain't let me get my feet wet for 40 years. Now I'm going to go out and slosh around in salt water up to my ears. Maybe the death of me, but I'll die happy.
I hope you don't have to go through what Charlie Fred did to get fed up with fishing.
You know as well as I do that Charlie Fred ain't fed up with fishing.
I guess I do. Despite pneumonia and a broken ankle, he'd be right out on the banks. First chance he got if it weren't for that other thing holding him back.
It's a crying shame. Regular heathen beliefs about what bad luck aboard a boat.
And I'm worried about it. He doesn't say a word about it, but he's absent-minded, and I can tell it's bothering him.
Nothing we can do about it either.
Hello, Mr. Bates.
How much?
$10, please. Dory Plug and me go with Captain Billy. We have highlines. We pay him back easy. $10? That's too much money. What do I do with $10? I did pay him back. What if I have a broke saddle? What if I fall off the bowsprit? I can't even swim.
Sure that's enough?
Mr. Bates, are you okay?
Say, Frenchie, I'm going with Captain Billy next trip, too.
Hey, we be shipmates! We meet you at Jim Winter's, day before we go sailing.
I'll be there.
I buy you 3 drinks, 4 drinks, 5 drinks!
All right then.
Hey, Frenchie. Oh, hello, sir, Charlie Fred. Who are you sailing with these days?
George Plug and me go with Captain Billy.
Ah, well, good luck.
Next time, remember I meet you at Captain Billy's, Captain Billy. Jim Winter's barroom. I'm already drunk. Jim Winter's barroom. Is that okay, Mr. Seven?
Reggie, we're shipmates now. Just call me Seth.
Oh, funny things happen when you go sailing. I buy you 6 strings. Yay!
Did you notice how standoffish friendship was with me just there? I guess they're all like that.
Perhaps it was just your imagination.
I wish it was. There's no point in me trying to convince them otherwise as long as they believe it was my fault the Artemisia went down.
The Jim Ross was shipwrecked twice, and both times he was the only one saved. After that, nobody would sail with him.
Poor fella had to get a job ashore.
Seth, could you and Charlie Fred come in the office a minute? I think this is a good time for Charlie Fred to learn the repair side of the business.
I suppose I've got Ike to thank for the mess that I made. I swear, he's out to get me.
But you've got to thank for that. It's 300 years of superstition.
Aw, shut up. Go and soak your head. That young Cameron out in the skinning loft is getting too big for his britches. One of these days I'm going to get good and mad and tell him who his father is.
To whom do you wish to speak?
Well, seeing as I ain't feeling very particular today, I'll talk to you.
And what is the nature of your business?
Listen here, Deborah Wharton. Don't go using your high and mighty airs on me. I knew your father's people down in Sydney, Nova Scotia, where the people lived in one half of the house and the pigs lived in the other.
Let's keep personalities out of it, shall we? A business office is no place to get personal.
Wherever there's people, whether it's a business office or digging clams, you can't get away from who you are.
Well, we can try to be ladies, despite how difficult it is.
I never tried to be anybody but me. And it was my silly conscience that brought me down here today. I must have been mistaken. I thought you didn't want Charlie Fred to go to sea, so you wouldn't be interested in what I gotta say anyways.
You've done a lot of talking. Now I'm going to do a little. Naturally, I didn't want Charlie Fred to go to sea when there's a safe life ashore and all of this. But I've learned that there are worse things that can happen to a man than going to sea. And only one thing you can say will have any bearing on that. So, if you know anything about it, you'd better start talking before I forget. I'm a lady.
So you got a little spunk, do you? Willing to fight for your man like a common waterfront flounder. And it sounds like you got a little common sense, too.
Try me.
Listen, I don't blame you for not wanting Charlie Fred to go to sea, but you'd be silly to try to keep him ashore. They get awful cranky when they have to stay ashore.
I only tried to discourage him. Go on.
If a fella goes to sea, and he finds out that his woman's trying to keep him ashore, he'll start to hate her. And he'll begin to hate her so much that he'll start to love his hate.
For goodness sakes, don't tell me you came here to preach.
Don't tear your shirt. Len, me and Nucky were talking about it, and we think it's a crying shame that a smart young fellow like Charlie Fred should be called a jinx when it ain't so.
How could you possibly know anything about that? Can you prove it?
Of course I can.
Will you do it before witnesses?
Sure, bring him along. Charlie Fred, John Munson, Seth Bates, anybody else who's round.
I'm sorry I was so brazen with you, but this really means a lot to him, Liz.
It's good to know that some of you young folks have a little bit of backbone these days.
Not really as stuck up as I sounded when you came in, but Mr. Munson likes to have dignity in his office.
Oh, he does he?
I'll go call them. Captain Billy is here too.
Come.
Liz Brewer is here, and she would like to speak with all of you.
What about?
About Charlie Fred being a jinx.
I want to say it ain't so, and I can prove it.
Gosh, Liz, tell us quick.
The real reason the Artemisia was lost was because of Lem's dream. He dreamt he saw a man climbing up the rigging and disappearing off the cross trees. You know what that means. Nate would have been lost whether Charlie Fred went or not.
Did you tell Nate about it?
No, Lem was sure it was him and Nucky. He didn't think it was any use to tell Nate. That's why he stayed ashore that trip. Nate would have to sail anyway. He couldn't leave the Artemisia tied up until she rotted.
No, he wouldn't do that. He'd have to go out anyway.
Oh, Liz, it was kind of you to tell us.
Well, you got that girl of yours to thank. I was starting to get cold feet about talking, but she made me turn around and spill it.
You didn't need very much coaxing.
Well, now that that's out, I'll spread it around, and nobody will think you're a jinx when I'm done.
Well, Charlie, Fred, I had heard about this and thought it meant you were through going to sea, but I can see how happy this makes you feel that it's not true.
You're right, Dad. Come on, let's go tell the whole town, quick.
Thank you for telling us, Mr. Brewer.
Don't mention it, ding toe.
That was my name when I was a boy, and I think I've outgrown it by now. So perhaps we can go about our business, Billy?
You won't need me, John?
No, it's all about cost. If we can keep it under $200, I don't see a problem.
I'll get right over to Christensen's and find out just what it'll cost.
Great. If the price is right, we'll start repairs right away.
No, Seth, just dawned on me. Right out of the clear sky.
For goodness sake, what dawned on you?
What ails the Resolute? She's ding-toe!
Hey, Captain Billy, I hear you need a dory mate for Hank Nelson.
I sure do.
Well, here I am. And look, I live it all.
Listen here, Charlie, Fred. You can go sailing with me anytime you want, but you've got to have 2 good legs to do it.
But my leg won't hinder me in a dory.
No, sirree. You get that leg all healed, and don't take any chances. You're young, and you don't want to have anything happen to cripple you for life. So pick up your cane and go back to being lame until you can't help but not be lame.
We just got a nice order for big fish. That'll, skinny moth gang will be glad to hear it. I thought we'd have to lay them off. Don't hurry away, Billy. I won't be gone long.
I have to get over to Christensen's before they shut off.
Well, what I wanted to ask you, do you think I could stand a trick at the wheel sometime in a good stiff breeze?
Why, of course. Why not, Seth?
I want to get some experience so that when I'm skipper of my own vessel, I can keep her on a straight course. There'll be no superstitions aboard my boat either. And all my crew will have wings. So. See you, Billy.
Poor Seth. He has no idea what he's getting himself into. He's never been outside of the harbor in his whole life. He'll probably get seasick for 3 weeks steady, and I'll have to hold his hand the whole trip.
I wouldn't worry so much about Steph. He'd be having so much fun, he wouldn't even know it if he were seasick.
Any man who don't notice that he's seasick has got to be having a hell of a lot of fun.
Charlie, Fred,
Debbie?
a lot of things are going all right for you.
Thanks, Debbie.
But here you are, talking about wanting to go to sea again before being over, almost being lost on your first trip.
Us 40,000 sailors don't count it when we're almost lost. Right, Charlie, Fred?
Perhaps I should take a trip out to the banks just to see what's so fascinating about it.
Debbie, when salt water runs down a fella's neck, he ain't never going to be happy doing any kind of work that sets on a solid bottom. He'll crave the roll of the deck under his feet like a drunkard craves strong drink. He'll never get over that creep. Now, when a woman wants to marry a seagoing man, she's really in love with him. The job she's tackling ain't an easy one. Maybe it's even harder than going fishing. She has no idea what's going on out there on the banks, and all the while, and her man is away, she's at home, wondering, and worrying, and waiting. So, what she's got to do before she decides to marry this seagoing fella is to make up her mind whether he's worth it. Or does she want to marry a farmer and help him milk the cows and feed the chickens and... I think I better take a reef to my tongue before we all bust out crying. Why don't you two kids get a good bearing and chart your course?
I know all about all those things you said about a woman marrying a fisherman.
I guess you do, especially when salt water rolls under his feet.
We've got a lot to be grateful to this brewer for.
He's my second best gal. Oh gosh, Debbie, it was terrible when they thought that I was a jinx, but it was worse when I thought that he wouldn't marry me.
Charlie Fred Munson, whoever said anything about not marrying you? You didn't really think I'd let you fall in love with an old boat, did you? You come over here and kiss me a good snack.
But Debbie, we're in the office.
I wouldn't mind if we were right on Main Street.
Gee, Debbie, you're wonderful.
Our old great man is in, the ones who chose to be.